We do have to get on to our quick fire round. We take questions from our audience for our guests each week, and we'll ask you to send those questions into us on Twitter and Instagram at Politicon. Twitter and Instagram at Politicon, or you can email them to us, podcast@politicon.com. We have questions, like I said, from the audience. We call it quick fire round. We'll see how quick fire these can be. They never end up being that quick, but we'll give one to each guest. Alexis from Miami, we'll start with Ben. Alexis from Miami asks, who is doing more damage to Trump, Sarah Cooper or the Lincoln Project?
I honestly am not sure that either of them are doing any significant damage to Trump. I do think that Trump is his own man, and the massive source of damage that he does is self-earned and to himself. So, Alexis, I will tell you that I guess if I had to do marginally, I would say that the Lincoln Project is utterly irrelevant. It is entirely about taking money from donors and putting it into the pockets of political consultants and ad buyers. Those things crop up occasionally, but they've been doing a lot of that in recent years. So
that's what all politics is.
Exactly.
Consultants. Henry Stephen from Charleston. Not sure if that's West Virginia or South Carolina, but Stephen from Charleston asks, why has President Trump given up on COVID?
Why has he given up on what?
COVID-19.
I think the president was always lukewarm about the shutdown. I think he wants to get back to what he believes is a good selling point, which is the once robust economy. And I think he also knows that he flubbed it. He had daily press conferences in April that were canceled when he suggested, he says jokingly, ingesting bleach to fight the disease. I look at elections all around the world, and virtually every incumbent, left, right, and center, has seen an increase in their approval ratings and in their party standings, because all a country wants in a time of crisis is calm and stable leadership. Trump is about the only one who's seen his standing go down, and I think he knows that.
Okay. Elie, Brenda from Los Angeles, based on this question, I'm going to guess she lives a little bit outside of Los Angeles, but it says LA. Why do protesters and rally goers get to spread COVID when I still can't go back to work?
Oh my God. They're not getting to spread COVID. The protests have generally been very masked up. I have been one of those voices saying that all protesters should wear masks. So it's not a situation where the protesters are getting to spread COVID. We want everybody to be as safe as possible while they're outside, and that includes wearing a mask, washing your hands, and doing all the things possible to keep yourself safe. Now, one difference is, and I'll take Brenda's premise at least this far. One of the things that you can't do very well at a protest is socially distanced. And this is a real concern with the protesters. Even though the majority of them are wearing masks, the inability to social distance during a protest is a problem. One way to correct for that problem or ameliorate that problem would be to stop having the police tactic that's called kettling. This involves them kind of shoving the protesters together along corridors where it's easier to control them. I think the most famous case actually happened here in New York, where where a bunch of protests, about 5,000 protesters, were trapped on the Manhattan Bridge for an hour and a half to kettle them between Brooklyn and Manhattan. To the extent that the police could not do that and let the protesters fan out a little bit more, that would also increase safety and decrease the spread of the virus. But it's not a situation where people are turning a blind eye to the potential spread of the virus during these protests. It's something that people who care about the protesters' lives are very, very concerned about. And me personally, it's one of the reasons why I have not been at a protest. I live with my mother, who's 70. She's a high-risk person, and I have not felt like I can risk going to these protests that I support in theory, given the realities of the virus.
Okay. Ben, Jason from Boston asks, can Biden win without a black woman, assuming as VP?
I actually think he could. I think that in the context of the moment, I think he won't bother to try. And that's the shortest answer I can give you on that.
Okay. Henry, Kara from Nashville asks, is John Bolton correct? Did the Dems blow the impeachment?
Oh, absolutely. They blew the impeachment if their goal was to remove Donald Trump from office. That the only way you can remove somebody from office is to have the consent of the other party. But from the moment that the Ukraine gate, for lack of a better phrase, came out, it was clear that Democratic impeachment managers of the House were going to have a rush to judgment to get this out the door as quickly as possible and to make no serious attempt to persuade Republicans that their leader was crooked or criminal enough to remove from office. So absolutely, it was botched if the intent was to actually remove Donald Trump from office.
Okay. And Elie, we'll give you this one last because I'm biased. I know your answer already, and I just want to give you a chance to say it. Tim from New Haven asks, Biden is up 15 points nationally. Can Dems breathe easy?
Hell no. Do not breathe.
You don't want to elaborate at all.
Are you kidding me? New York Times had Hillary Clinton winning by at a 92% clip, like at 8 o'clock on election. No, you cannot breathe easily. Are you kidding me, Tim?
Well.
Hey, I'm Clay Aiken. To hear the full episode, subscribe to This Politicon podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to pods. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Go to Politicon.com, follow @Politicon on social media, and listen to a new pod episode of How the Heck every Thursday.